One of the most important aspects of well-being is certainly the economic situation, and one of the most commonly used, or the most commonly used, and I think also one of the best measures for the economic well-being is income. There's tons of research on gender inequalities in income. There's actually not so much research that focusing on other demographic dimensions. Our research focusing on age-specific income and the changes during the last decade. One of the few papers that focuses on economic or the age aspects, the age dimension of economic well-being is a working paper of the IMF, who showed that the poverty rates among the young Europeans increased during the last decade by a decline for the elderly persons. As one of the reasons is that younger populations were hit harder by the economic crisis, the unemployment rate increased, and also because public sector cash transfers target mostly the elderly population but provide little support to the young generations. Our goal is to have a closer look what happened and develop and calculate a set of indicators that describe the allocation of income across age groups and its changes over time. So our research question is, how did age-specific incomes change between 2007 and 2016? How did these changes affect the income of younger Europeans compared to the older population? And can these changes be attributed to changes in employment, in wages, or in social benefits? The first thing economists usually do when they analyze income changes over time is looking at the data from the national accounts, not at GDP. What you see here is net disposable income of the household sector. We standardize it to one in 2008 to better show the differences across countries. Our analysis focuses on 9 countries. This is Estonia, Sweden, Austria, France, Poland, Greece, Spain, Italy, and Slovenia, because these countries have net income by components in AOC. For other countries, we only have either net income at household level or gross income at individual level. What we see is the huge differences across countries. So most countries were affected somehow by the economic crisis, so basically all countries. There are some countries like Poland or Sweden where you don't see the crisis in the household income. In France and Austria, the income since 2008 more or less stagnated. It declined in Estonia, but Estonia returned quite soon to a growth path of income. And then there are some problematic countries which we know. This is Greece, where since 2009 the income dropped to a level of about 60% to the level of 2008, and also Italy and Spain, where we see not such a dramatic but a considerable decline in average household income. But our focus is on age-specific individual income, and we, as status figures, we use silk. We individualize all income that is captured in the silk, so the most important income components are anyway at the individual level. This is income from employment, income from self-employment, pensions or unemployment benefits. Some income levels are only at household level. Asset income, which we assign to all adults in the household in equal shares. Then there is a component imputed rent. This is a hypothetical rent payment of people who actually live in their own house. And family benefits, to get it also a little bit right between genders, we assign it to the person who is responsible for childcare. We did it so that we assign it inversely to the share of labor income. So if one person doesn't participate on the labor market, has no income, all child benefits or family benefits are assigned to this person. Here, how does it look like? Here's the example for Italy. This graph contains quite a lot of information. You see real income on the y-axis by age. So these larger blocks are age groups, and within age groups we have the level for 2008 and the level for 2016. What we can see is that among the working age population, clearly labor income or the income from self-employment is the most important component. It's transfer incomes. At older age groups, we also see that asset income is not really captured in any SIP. And what is also interesting for Italy, that the income of the working age population is lower in 2016 than it was in 2008, where the income of the older population more or less stagnated in this time period. So now we have the challenge to describe the distribution of income with few indicators. So we look for indicators that describe the allocation of income among age groups, the absolute changes over time, and the differences across countries. We therefore reduce the age groups to 3 age groups, to younger working age population 20 to 39, older working age population 40 to 59, and the population 60 plus. And we focus on age-specific median income and its change. So first, we look at 1 year, this is for year 2016. We look at relative median incomes. This is just age-specific median income relative to the total median income of all persons age 20 and older. And interesting is the most wealthy groups, or the one with the highest income, is the group aged 40 to 59. It's clear these persons have high income, and the participation rates are quite high in these groups. Interesting are the country difference, or the relative position of the young persons and the older population. This orange marked are these crisis countries, Greece, Spain and Italy, and these countries are characterized by a particular low income of the young population and a particular high income, also median income of the older population. There are two opposite examples where the income of the younger population is higher than for the older population. This is Estonia, where the differences are remarkable, and Sweden, where also the median income in the population 20 to 39 is higher than for the population 60 plus. What are the explanations for these differences? What certainly plays a role is youth unemployment. What could play a role is the labor force participation and or the extent of participation of women. We saw a high value of Sweden, and they have the population 40 to 59 has a high income. This could be also because women participating full-time work and high participation rates, so this income of this group is higher. And what also certainly plays a role is the size and type of the taxes and the generosity of pension systems. So in Greece and Italy we saw an increase in taxes during the last decade. They required this increase to maintain rather generous pension systems. So we are looking now at this change over time, and you see for Italy the changes in this relative median income of different age groups over time. This yellow is the young population, 20 to 39. This is the older population, 60 plus, and the group with the highest median income is at the age 40 to 59. And we saw clearly how the median income of the young population relative to the total population decreased during this time period. So this is really a considerable decrease from, let's say, about almost 90% to only 70% relative to the total median. It's not only Italy where we can see this picture. In Austria, income stagnated. We see also a similar development, that the median income of the younger population relative to the total median decreased, while it increased for the elderly population 60 plus. If we look at the similar table across countries, you see these changes in total median income. The crisis countries, or I would say crisis countries, but the three countries, Greece, Spain and Italy, their total median declined over this period, but in most of countries we see this pattern that the median income of the young population declined more than for the older population, for example in Greece, or it increased less than for the older population. So what we can see in most countries is this shift or the reallocation of income from young to old. With few exceptions, this is Estonia and Poland. What are the explanations? A more dynamic economic development with new firms entering the market. They open opportunities for the young population, while in Greece or Italy, They have a lot of companies which are not very productive, which are just kept alive by cheap money from the European Central Bank. Thereby you protect the income of the elderly that work in there, but it opens little opportunities for the young population. So what we still have to do, what I didn't show here, is that we also do this analysis with household equivalence income. So individual income is good for analyzing the changes in components and analyzing what was going on during this time period. But we didn't take also this income of, for example, individual income in working ages doesn't take into account that these people also have care responsibilities for young children and have to share their income among their families. So forgetting a measure of a comparable measure of economic well-being, I think household equivalence income would be the better choice. And we're also going to do is to decompose the changes in income. We experimented already a little bit to decompose these changes with data from EU. Still, unfortunately, we were not completely satisfied because there is this time mismatch between the time point of the survey and the income reference period, which makes a little bit problems. So to summarize, there is remarkable differences in income development across countries, but we see in many countries this reallocation of income towards older age groups. There was this strong decline in relative income of the working age population in Greece, Italy and Spain. We see stagnating income of working age populations in Austria and France, for example, but for the elderly population 60 plus, it increases. And even in Sweden, where the income increased over this time period, the increase was still stronger for the older age groups than for the young age groups. So thank you very much.